realizing the number one thing that saved my life, discipline. When I used to be homeless, one of the things that separated from me from a lot of the people who were homeless was that I had discipline. I was going to the gym when I was homeless. I was reading. I was listening to personal development when I was homeless. I was building my online business when I was homeless. And all the people around me who failed or who went back to the street or who wasn't making any moves, they weren't disciplined. Hey, what's going on? And as I go back to the gym, I had to walk 3 miles to get to the gym because I don't have a car. And I spoke it into existence that the universe will pave a way for me where I don't have to do that anymore. I don't have to do that, or I don't have to do that for long. And one of the things that really, really saved my life is discipline. Whenever I felt away, I went back to my discipline. Whenever I was crying with tears in my face, I went back to my discipline. And being a moon in Capricorn, the father of discipline, and in the sixth house of Virgo of routine, daily routine, it really helps to be disciplined. Because I feel like once you find those disciplines, you straight. No matter what the circumstance, no matter how you feel, no matter how little money you make, because rich people and poor people, the only thing that separates them is their disciplines. That's really, at the end of the day, all philosophies aside, all fancy words aside, the only thing that separates the rich and the poor is their discipline. That's why they say, no matter how much money you make, no matter how much money it was equally dispersed to the people of the United States, the money will go back to the wealthy because of the discipline. Not necessarily because somebody favors somebody else, because God favors somebody else, or whatever. None of that shit fucking matters, because the rich have a certain discipline that they foster. You too. And I had to thoroughly understand that. So, as I come from the gym and I had to walk through, like I said, I had to walk 3 miles to get to the gym. I know people who are close as fuck, and they don't go to the gym. They have more convenience than me, and they don't go to the gym. And it made me think, at the end of the day, it's your discipline that separates you. It's your discipline that makes somebody say, that makes you never fold to the circumstances. That makes you never fold to life circumstances. It's your discipline. As long as you have discipline, you good. As long as you have, as long as you have discipline, you good. That means, and that also might mean, the number one mindset that erodes discipline is I'm not good enough. And that used to erode my mindset for years. That's the number one, not number two, not number three, not number four. That is the number one eroder of all discipline. I'm not good enough. Because usually, that's a fucking lie. I ain't gonna hold you. Every time I said that shit to myself, and I got some discipline, and I did that shit anyway, that shit was a fucking lie. And like today, like going to the gym, maybe I didn't have the perfect circumstance, but when I do get a car, when I do get a bike, when I do get a electric scooter or whatever, then my circumstances change because the universe is gonna open an opportunity for me because the universe sees I'm serious. But if the universe don't see you serious, the universe not gonna pave no way for you. You feel what I'm saying? So discipline, going back to your discipline is essential to life, period. And that means you may have to like, the reason why they say you have to choose your circle wisely, because everybody has different disciplines. Everybody has different discipline. And I say discipline, I love the way Bob Proctor defines discipline. It's really in the dictionary, but the way he defines it is better for me. He said discipline is the ability to follow your own command. Discipline is the ability to follow a command. But a lot of us are taught not to follow our own inner command or our own word, which is meaning you have integrity. So, so in my understanding, the ability to get up, or have the confidence to say, kind of confidence in the word of Ed Milet. He would say, uh, it's the ability to follow, to do what you say you're gonna do. The number one way to build your confidence is if you say you're gonna do something for yourself, you go do it. You go keep the, and I'm learning that at a deep psychological level. Go keep the promises you're gonna go keep the promises you say you're gonna do for yourself. That's the best way to build confidence. Not you bring a whole bunch of money, not you make a whole bunch of this, that, and a third. The fact that when you say you're gonna do something for you, you go fucking do it. And the quickest way to erode your self confidence is that same way. You don't do what you say you're gonna do for you, and you don't believe there's a way that can be paid for you to go make that shit happen. Does that make sense? So, um, in all, go back to your discipline. Outside of your feelings, outside of your circumstances, find a way to go back to your discipline. Now, I have to find a better way sometimes. Like, in other words, if I don't go to the gym, I have to find a way to work out at home. Sometimes I don't like doing that because I like going to the physical gym. Um, but like I said, um, go back to your discipline, yo. Go back to your discipline. No matter how you feel, because I think it's Jim Rohn who said, no matter how off track you get off, you can always fall back on track. Go back to your discipline. It's everything. Go back to your discipline, no matter how you feel. Thank you, thank you. No matter what's going on in your life, no matter what life look like, life can alter by the switch of discipline. Period. Life alters by the switch of discipline, and that's it. Life don't alter no other way. Life alters by the switch of discipline. You switch that shit up, you good. You good. Life alters by the switch of discipline. You switch. Real talk. There's no other way to. There's no other way to. There's no other way to put it. There's no other way to find it. There's no other way to accumulate the shit. I mean, why is it fucking? Uh, you know, life changes by the sweet training of discipline. And once you start to believe and understand it's in discipline, that means you're gonna have to do some stuff you don't like. And I'm really accepting that ideal. You're gonna have to do shit you don't like, because um, if you're not okay with doing shit you don't like, that means, ooh, wow, that's deep. Wow, that's deep. If you're not okay with doing shit you don't like, that means when unfavorable circumstances come, you'll fold. That's deep. And when I say you don't like, meaning shit you gotta do, that's gonna make you uncomfortable. When you don't do shit you don't like, and that doesn't mean like it's like hateful circumstances, like hate. Well, I would have to say that too. If you don't do stuff you hate to some extent, um, I ain't gonna hold you. When life gets hard, you gonna fold. Because a lot of times hate comes from uncomfortability, not necessarily. Uh, for most people, at least, doing things you hate comes from uncomfortability. You don't want to do it. You're lazy or something. But um, life changes in the things you hate. For real, but like I said, make it short. Go back to your discipline.